just like pick up that bar, and I was like, oh, I can't. And it was like, yes, point proven.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That's the science.
Yeah. Man. So
Welcome to the podcast. It's me, Chris and Siobhan. Listen to us talk about stuff or don't. Hey guys, welcome to episode 26 of the podcast. Today we have a very special guest. We have... God, there's so many words to describe you. I can't even think of one.
we go with the name first.
So your name is Starlight. A lot of people straight away are going to say, huh? What? That's her name? That is her actual name, Starlight. So, God, there are a lot of things. So I'm trying to remember everything. So you're one of the greatest weightlifters, Irish weightlifters ever. You were one of the first and only females to snatch a triple digit. You would put a snatch of 100 kilos overhead.
in competition.
That
competition.
is insane.
Different when people are watching you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's make sure it was in competition. It's recorded.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your new thing now is you're trying to get into the UFC. Recently we spoke about this, that you've moved on from females and you're now beating up men.
Oh my God,
If it's
literally my
possible,
hero.
I love you even more.
Yeah, 100%.
He beats up men. Wow.
You started out as...
Do you take contract requests?
Well, I was saying just name and address for good.
Excellent. Okay. And we can put up a discount code at the end of the show.
Start out for all your kills. And just send him a voice note of what she does. That was his neck you heard. So you started out, you were telling me a while ago, I wasn't sure if we were allowed to talk about this, as a stripper when you were 17 years of age.
Yeah, I was just turning,
Wow.
17, just turning 18, and I just googled dancing jobs, and I got one in Tralee where this lady she taught me how to kind of do like salsa for fitness, and I went around a couple of hotels and taught a couple of salsa for fitness classes. Oh, this isn't it? And then there was another one where it was like, come to Spain and working in an exotic club, and you get accommodation. I was like, all right, cool, we're
Wow,
good,
done.
Yeah,
Done.
Yeah.
You know yourself, in Spain. Accommodation, done. So yeah, I was working in this club there, and then that was my little in, and then it just became this cool little cash in hand job that you could get anywhere.
You probably made a fortune.
Yeah, they were like, I used to have just a shelf in my wardrobe. It was all the cash got put in there, and you just grab a couple of toys. Do you know what I mean? It was a really good time. It was a class time. It was good.
So you started around the age of 17. Did you do that for long?
Yeah, I mean, I only stopped like a couple of years ago, really.
Like last week.
Like, I only stopped a couple of years ago. Even when I was first working with Clarence, like I would work in the club. I was living in a van, and was I even running the Wild Adventure Way? So I was like, but like
yeah.
work,
So you're living in Portugal at the minute.
Living in Portugal at the minute.
Yeah. Okay.
But back then I was still living here. I mean, I worked in London. I worked in Maidstone, Spain, Cork. Dublin, but Cork was
Another exotic location.
Cork is horrendous. Cork
is I'm sorry for all our Cork listeners, but it's such a shithole.
It is. Well, no,
Jesus.
Cork is grand, but the club there was really not a great club. But anyway, it's a great little gig, cash in hand. You can literally rock up anywhere, and you've got a job. It's great. And at the time, it was all this like female empowerment, and you just felt, because you saw that like look you can't touch kind of thing, and it was amazing. I always had this fantasy about it. And then I remember towards the end of my time, I was working up in Dublin, and OnlyFans came out, and all the girls were like, have you seen this? Now your regulars can they don't even need to come into the club. You can just get in touch with them online, and like that's the way we're going to do it. So it was all the girls in the clubs that were on OnlyFans, and we were all talking about it, and we're like, now everybody's on OnlyFans, and it's completely changed that world. Like, I wonder what this. I wonder if people even bother going into strip clubs.
Is it too saturated now?
Yeah, I wouldn't. Like, I've never done it. I wouldn't go on to it now. It's almost like, because it lives forever. Whereas in the club, like, it's a moment.
And ends there. Yeah.
It's a moment, and then like you go home, you go to bed, and like you don't have to think about like. Yeah, it's just it's different. And people would still recognise you. You know, you'd be in Tesco's and you're like, oh, and it's always that awkward moment. And Euro is funny because as a dancer, you're like, oh, hey! But they're not even Jenny. Exactly. Like, oh, and you're like, oh. And then you feel that.
Honey? Oh, that's just a girl at the gym.
Literally. I wasn't training so much at the time. And it was funny because when I started training a lot, because I always felt athletic. But now looking back at what I thought was athletic, I was like, that was definitely not athletic. But obviously the way you look means that you're going to have a certain type of client and customer. So when I became more athletic, I became scary. And then I kind of like played into it. I was like, okay.
So when did you start lifting weights or join in? Or
I did my first deadlift when I was in college. And a guy brought me in and he was like, look, you're walking around at what? Like at the time I was like, I've always been around sort of 70 kilos. So if you're walking around at 70 kilos, you should be able to lift up 70 kilos, right? If you're walking around day to day with 70 kilos on your frame, 24/7, you should be able to pick up 70 kilos. So I was like, yeah, probably. Put 70 kilos on the bar, didn't move. I was like, proper didn't move. I was like, whoa, that's insane. Okay.
Jesus, I thought you were going to say, and I ate it.
I just lifted above my head 5 times. So yeah, no.
Because you're so strong now, like,
Yeah.
just I could never see you fail in a 70 kilo deadlift.
Yeah,
Weak.
couldn't lift it, or like maybe lifted it or struggled, like, but it definitely didn't fly up. Of course, it had no technique. He didn't show me any technique.
Yeah, just pick it
He
up.
was just like pick up that bar, and I was like, oh, I can't. And it was
Okay.
like, yes, point proven.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
That's the science.
Yeah, man. So then I got into training, and also, you know what? I used to smoke at the time. I used to smoke cigarettes, and I really wanted to quit. And I was like, look, if I get fit enough, I want to get to a point where it just makes no sense that I'm smoking. And I got to a point where I was like almost embarrassed, like after the gym, and you'd be embarrassed to have a fucking cigarette, you know?
I was smoking when I first joined the gym as well. Like I was smoking like 30 bints in a day. And I was like, I need to.
How many? I never
Yeah.
knew that about you. Ew.
Yeah,
Oh
like
my
30.
God.
I've-
Did you have brown fingers and everything?
Yeah.
Brown
Yeah.
lungs
Little bit.
anyway, for sure.
But like, and that was like back when we were doing road work. So we'd be up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I would have
And you'd
a
be
box
outside
eight
side of
before
the road on a
lunchtime,
shovel.
Usually, yeah.
All of them that were, like, it was just part of it, wasn't
Oh
it?
God, I'm such a hard cunt to the fucking bins in my head. But then I got into the gym and I was like, cigarettes, like everything in my head was, how can I make myself even better? And I was just eliminating all bad foods. So I was like, oh, fags have to go. And it's funny because I went smoking 30 on a normal day. A Saturday it could be up around 60 or 70 fags because you go out Saturday night.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was just, okay, I can't do this no more. And it's like, I never craved it after that.
Yeah. Oh no, I still crave it. I still walk behind people that smoke just for the...
Have you ever snuck a fag in the recent past?
No, I'm terrified of it because I
Really?
love it so much. I
Same,
literally
yeah.
walk downwind to people.
Yeah.
Oh, I catch a
love
smell of it. Yeah, I do that. Yeah, and
Yeah. Sometimes when they first spark up, that first
Oh, I love
bit of
it.
smoke,
Oh,
it's like,
yeah. That one, yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
There was a girl on TikTok the other day and she was promoting, she said, do you ever think, can they not just build a cigarette that's good for you?
They have.
This girl, yeah.
I'm
She was
sorry,
like,
excuse
"They
me?"
did.
Well, it's not a
They've
cigarette, but
constructed
like-
this cigarette that has like herbs and loads of stuff in it that's apparently good for you. I don't know. I'd like to see the science
Do you not
behind
have to
it, but-
burn what's in the cigarette?
exactly, yeah. And then it's carcinogenic
I
to your
don't
lungs.
think it
and-
even gets burnt. I think it just goes into this little wooden thing, and then you're getting the like,
Or like the thing in Thailand.
aromatherapy.
Yadam.
It's like aromatherapy. You know what I
Yadam?
mean? No.
Yadam? What you
Yadam.
call me?
Yadam.
Yeah.
Yadam.
Excuse me.
Yadam. It's this little pot of like that herbs and stuff
Yeah.
that's crushed into a paste, and but everybody's getting
What's
addicted
the
to it.
thing that the Swedish people, it's a piece
Like
of
a
stuff and they
snuff,
stick it in.
snuff.
Yeah,
Snuff.
snuff. And
That's
then it has
snuff. I've
little
done snuff, yeah.
Yeah, little
I'd say
blades
you've
or
done
something that
snuff.
gets into your bloodstream, isn't
It's
it?
so hot, disgusting.
Yeah.
No, but it looks like a piece of paper that you stick to your
Yeah.
gum.
Yeah.
That
And
is
it's
Yeah,
got
I've done
little
that as
things
well, yeah.
that cut your gum so that the nicotine gets into your bloodstream through the little cuts of the whatever it is.
You don't even
inside
have to
there.
do that because I remember a couple of years ago, someone gave me one. I was like, "Yeah, you just place it in your gum," and I was like, "And that's it." He goes, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, give me one."
Yeah.
I was like, "Ugh, that's disgusting."
Yeah.
It's literally like, do you remember tobacco?
Chewing tobacco.
Chewing tobacco. It was like that. I was like, that's the most
And they
disgusting
have
thing
that
ever.
whole little like cup that they spit into.
Like
Necessary.
Smell a dried spit off it.
The old western, do you remember like Clint Eastwood? Ding.
And people still do it.
yeah,
Like people still
yeah.
do it. Like young
You
lads
see a
and
lot
all.
of
Like
roadworks.
people still do it.
And building sites and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
But it's very not in vogue now to smoke, and it's really in vogue to go to the gym
And train, yeah, it's weird how
train.
everything's
Yeah.
changed. Yeah, like
Yeah.
the pubs are shit the weekend and the gyms are packed. Do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your new social life is the gym.
It's funny because I'm getting sick of it. I
You're
want to
getting
go.
sick of the
I want to go out again.
Like you were saying last night in the lab gym for the beginner high rocks, like 60 people
60
there.
people
60
turned up.
people showed up. Yeah.
It's a lot.
Fucking
It's
hell.
brilliant.
Crazy.
That's a lot.
Brilliant.
We'd been able to hide in that class now. Yeah.
It's a good thing about that
like
class,
safety
yeah.
and
You've
numbers.
been hiding it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you joined the gym. Getting back to your story.
Oh yeah. Joined the gym, and sure, I was doing osteopathy at the time, and just
Osteopathy. Oh yeah, I remember you did a bit with me before, actually.
There
yeah.
you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just managed. But yeah, so got a master's in osteopathy. The only reason I was doing it is because I wanted to qualify in horses. I was obsessed with horses, and my whole thing was, well, I was working with horses for a long time, and I was like, I'm like professional horse rider. This is it. This is where it's at. And then I was like, it's really hard to like figure out this life, because unless you're loaded and you have a really nice horse, you end up working for the person that is loaded with the really nice horses.
Right.
And then it's like morning, noon and night, and then weekends even more than any other because of competitions. And I was like, okay, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this for the rest of my life, or like my whole life. So I'm going to find another way. And I was like, maybe manual therapy with horses, and Googled it, and osteopathy comes up, and I'm like, signed up for that. Grand. Then in the time that I was studying, I sort of took a look back at horses, and I was like, shit, horse riding is actually very cruel, isn't it? Isn't that? It's very like socially acceptable, animal cruelty at a very acceptable level. Like we're now putting this bit in that presses against the top of it. We use spurs, we use whips, we're like tightening up that girth. It's all about submission to pain. I was like, I don't know if I'm okay with this. So,
This is all brand new
I know,
information
I'm
to
taking
me.
it in now. And I'm
What?
horrified.
So when
Yeah.
you see it in that way, you're kind of like, I'm actually really not okay with this. And then even just working with the horses, and all the problems come from the fact that they're being ridden by people, and you're just like, I'm not okay with this. So I didn't work with horses at all.
So did you do that for long, working with horses?
I did it for a couple of years, yeah. I qualified in it, and I was really like pushing it, but I ended up treating more people than I was treating horses. I still use it but I just don't agree with it anymore. So I don't want to be in the world at all. Don't agree with it at all.
So you left
hard.
that then,
So
and you
left
moved
that.
on to humans, or did you change career completely?
So left that. I still have it's still in the back pocket. I just don't really have the patience to work with people.
It's a running team
Understood.
here.
It's I don't know, is it like a common thing with everyone these days? Because like I used to do PT before, and I wouldn't thank you for it now anymore.
I just don't have the
Jesus,
patience.
listen to their fucking whinging.
I just don't have the patience. And now even with people, like, so if someone wants to come and do a session with me, I teach you how to treat yourself. I'll show you exactly what you need to do. I'll put you on a training program. I'll get you moving. I'll give you everything you need for 6 weeks, and then come back to me in 6 weeks once you've done that training program, and we'll go on from there. And no one does the 6 weeks. Very few people. And then the person that does, okay, cool, I'll work with you, absolutely. But
Yeah.
you've got to
Because
do
they
the
have
work
the right
yourself.
mindset, yeah.
But I'm not going to be that person that you come into and that just rubs you, because that, again, coming from the stripping world and like working in that space, you're very clued into like, this person just wants me to touch them.
What?
Oh.
Ew.
Yeah.
Fucking hate
Yeah.
humans.
Yeah.
Humans
Why
are
are people
This
like
guy just
that?
wants me, he just wants me to touch him, and I'm like, I am not okay with that. And you get more money for dancing in front of someone than you would for like touching them for half an hour. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, when you weigh it up, like,
Osteopath, is that more physical, or is it bone cracking, or is it?
It's a bit of everything.
It's kind of a bit of everything.
You're a biomechanic, like you're looking at the body in a mechanical way, and you're figuring out how you can make the mechanics work better, and why the mechanics have kind of gone a bit skew with.
All right, okay.
So
you were getting fellas come in, my penis isn't,
it's a bit
working
off.
properly. Can you?
Can you please give me a hand? No, but you literally get people coming in with nothing, like nothingness, and generally like the answer is move more.
Yeah,
Do you know
always
what I
the
mean?
answer, yeah.
On,
Get-
off again.
You
It's
know,
simple. It
just
was there
like,
all
God, it
along.
would be a
Get-
great
get
profession
moving.
if you were a perv.
Yeah,
Wouldn't it?
unreal.
But sure, look at
you have
your
to
man
be
up
so
country.
careful.
Oh, Jesus.
You have to be so
Shane Flynn,
careful.
isn't that what he used for it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And there was a guy in my college as well that went through fitness and like they decided that like he's not okay to be working with people. There was another scandal that came.
Jesus Christ.
There's another scandal that came out when we were working, when we were studying, about one of the teachers asking
it.
like, people to take off their underwear as part of the thing, like, because you're in a room on your own with people, and like they'll literally do, if you ask someone to stand in the corner or like, take off your clothes and do a headstand in the corner, they'll fucking do it because they genuinely
think
think
that's
it's
it, yeah,
part
yeah.
And
of the
it's so predatory,
assessment.
isn't it? The
Do
way
you
for you
know?
to be on your own.
Oh, it's like,
And
Mark.
terrible to be in the space and be a person that genuinely wants to help people then.
But also, like, giving out your, like, being in a space, like, you're quite vulnerable. So you're basically saying, like, hey, anybody can come and see me. I'm here in this space from 9 to 5.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you're advertising. Yeah,
Do you know what I
Advertising it,
mean?
literally, yeah.
No, thank you.
Oh, hiding in plain sight. Isn't that
No, thank you.
But yeah, that's what that Shane Flynn was up the country, and he was setting up his camera and he was recording women taking their clothes off, and he eventually sexually assaulted one girl. And he was
Too
like,
easy. Too
Yeah.
easy. Way too easy.
it's weird, it should be vetted, but then how would you vet something like that? How do you know someone's going to be a cunt?
Well, it is vetted, and like actually, it is vetted, and you are meant to do CPD courses, and like if you're working with children and whatnot, there's a lot of paperwork, and you are meant to be getting all the things, but like.
But how deep do they go? Like any of these
Exactly.
people are going to commit
That's
this
it,
crime.
yeah.
All you're
Well,
doing
yeah.
is ticking
Different
boxes and
completely.
filling out.
Yeah,
For
yeah. You
any fool can
Exactly.
do that.
And it
Thing is,
used to
you have
be
to wait for it to happen.
Yeah, and it used to be apprenticeship. So it used to be you work with
yeah, yeah,
someone
yeah.
and you shadow them and you're working with someone, you're getting on their skills. Now it's like, do you have 10 grand? Brilliant.
Yeah.
In you come.
In you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You know,
So
oh,
it's-
you don't
yeah.
have 10 grand, but you're actually a really good person that's got skills and like and a
sorry.
good gift. Sorry.
Sorry,
You
not
know,
today, sir.
Yeah.
Off you go.
Bye.
You know,
Oh
so
my
like,
God.
I think a lot of good sort of, I think the apprenticeship was good in a lot of different spheres.
Well, it was safer
you know?
anyway because you'd know if someone's going to be a fucking perverted cunt.
You would, because
Yeah.
you'd
Yeah.
sense it, wouldn't you, with most
Yeah,
people?
you'd know it.
Yeah.
Like, why's your finger in his arse?
That's actually a fucking technique. So we have a technique in osteopathy.
For what?
Yeah, for the coccyx.
I have a pain
So-
in my shoulder. Here, bend over.
Well, it's referral pain, isn't it? In it though. So like, no, honestly, there was a technique, and not everybody had to do. This was a voluntary class. You didn't have to do it. Can you imagine? So you put your fingers inside the ass to feel the coccyx. You ask someone to walk forward to see how it moves as they're walking.
Were they joking?
No.
In the class there. Watch this,
Good
watch
one.
this, watch this.
He fell for it.
You're such an idiot.
Initiation. Oh my god.
So,
Stop.
you were
I'm
saying that
horrified.
was a part of your class. Did
That
anyone,
was
did you do it?
one tech. No, I actually didn't do it.
Did anyone else in the class do it?
I don't know. I wasn't at the class. I can
was the
imagine
point.
one or two characters that might have signed up for it. All right, but yeah,
And
no,
when
I
you say
didn't.
sign up for it, like it was the teacher was doing it to the.
Well, it was like, okay, look, this is a technique. It's a legit technique. And even in Chinese medicine, there's also a point right like there that, again, it's one of those things like, look, this is a technique, but the amount of people that are going to come in with this problem that are actually going to be okay with you doing this technique,
Right.
you know, you probably don't even need to learn it. So this is a voluntary.
Okay.
If you want to learn it, you can learn it. If you don't want to learn it, grand, whatever. So,
Okay.
you know,
Jesus.
Oh.
yeah, each
And
their
at
own.
what point did you decide it wasn't for you then?
When my fingers got really smelly.
Yeah.
The walking bit.
Oh
maybe.
yeah. Well, all you have to do is take a look around your class and who you're going to be working with, and you're like, you know what? Do you know what?
Hands up, your finger.
Do you know what? Yeah, and it's like it's not the
crazy.
handsome Adonis in the corner that's like,
like-
yeah, me.
Do you know if you did get like the likes of Shane Flynn there, right, and someone came in with a coccyx pain, wouldn't something like that save him, even though he was doing it for a perverted reason? Like that treatment, say, oh, I was just doing what I was
Surely,
showing
if you're
fucking
going
college.
through the case and you're in a situation where you're in the courtroom and they go through the technique, is that what you felt?
Yeah, but like, what did he do? Oh, well, he shoved his finger up my hole. Okay.
I know, but I think they go into a little bit more detail than that.
He put his penis inside me. I mean, his fucking finger.
What technique is that? What does it fix?
I'm just going to use a much softer finger.
A big fat one.
This is called in the old Latin terms, thumb in your hole.
I feel like we've strayed off the path this
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah, it's all right.
happens.
It's all right.
Let's get back to your
Getting back to
career.
that. So you didn't want to work with people because you didn't want to be fingering them.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. In a nutshell.
So then you moved
Yeah.
on from that.
So then I moved on from that, and I was like always developing myself as an like athletically, because I thought, okay, look, if I just need to work on being as healthy as possible, and in that, like, it's focus on myself, and in that I'll be learning all these tricks, techniques, ways to help other people. So like I'll just keep the focus on develop. If I can't develop myself as being like this ultra healthy human, then I can't really help anyone else. So I'll just keep the focus on that, and nothing bad will come from that really, or can't do. So, and then I think at one stage I strayed into, like, wondering whether entrepreneurship was my thing, and I told you that. I sort of started a online adventure activity marketplace, and then I was like, how do you get money for this? And you could sign up to competitions. There are entrepreneurial, and I just love competing. I love it. So I was like, entrepreneurial competitions, sign me up. So I signed up for that, and then I became Kerry's Best Young Entrepreneur, and then AIB had a competition, you sign up for that, and then Bank of Ireland. I just love competing. I was just in the wrong thing, competing. And then I remember going to these like networking events, and I was like, this is weird. Talking, like teaching you how to like talk to someone in a way that they like you, how to get someone to like you. And it was all this like, so when you introduce yourself, you want to make eye contact, and you want to hold their hand like this. I was like, this is really odd. I don't think this is the room I'm meant to be in. And then I kind of then COVID happened, which was a blessing in disguise, because it was hard, that whole entrepreneur thing, like running a team, like numbers, just no.
Yeah.
No,
When you say entrepreneur, that was,
do you know what I mean?
that was like a business. What business was it?
Online adventure activity marketplace. So it was a place that we had all of Ireland's adventure leaders on a website. Ireland, like people that generally run adventure activities aren't like super tech savvy, and they're not really into. So you got to get these people like onto a tech platform. It was hard. Now you've got to get an activity that's like tide dependent, wind dependent, weather dependent, all these like, onto the thing. So like even he's cancelled here because of the tide, but you've got to update the website over here.
Yes.
I was like, oh my God, I don't know if, I don't know if this is for
This
me.
is not for me.
And then you slowly start to realize, because it started for like a love of adventure. Oh, that was it. I was doing jiu-jitsu. Broke my because I thought I was going for jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu was where it's at. Jeez, I missed out a bunch of stuff. So it was kite surfing. Like kite surfing was where it was at, and I was like, oh yeah, professional kite surf, this is going to happen. And then I had this mad kite surfing accident where some dude grabbed a hold of my kite bar, and like the worst thing that you can do, and I remember him because it's attached to me by a harness, and I remember going, no, you've got to let go, because all he wanted to do was take a picture of me, but he just grabbed it. I was like, no, you got to let go. And he's like, oh no, it's okay, and he just yanked it again, because when it starts moving, it's so sensitive, the kite bar, like all you have to do is like this and it moves, but he just yanked it, and we just did a massive kite loop. We went flying like 10 meters in the air, this Indian guy holding on to the bar and me attached by a harness flying through the air, and all he had to do was let go and it would have all stopped, but because he's holding on to it and hanging on to it, it's like full power because it pulls the thing in. So we get lifted 10 meters up, and then we get crashing down to the ground, and I'm just screaming like, let go. And I remember looking at him going, I should punch him, but I couldn't punch him at the time. I don't know why, but that was what I really learned from that. And then he pulled it again, so we did another kite loop where I went flying, and then we were coming towards these beach huts at the end, because this is in southeast England. There's no sand, nothing soft, it's all pebbles and beach huts, and I just went boom into the beach hut, and he'd let go just before, because obviously,
Please tell me he got more injured than you.
No, fucking scratch on him, because he landed on me every time, because I'm underneath him hanging from the harness, you know what I mean?
Fucking hell.
Unreal. And anyway, wake up in hospital, and I'm like really bad, to the point where like, I went through a couple of pillows that night because the blood was everywhere. Couldn't walk, in a wheelchair. And then I had to deal with the fact, like, I got in touch with him after, and he didn't care, and that was the biggest thing. Like, because I was like, do you realize, you really hurt me and my kite and my thing, and like, do you realize how much? And I went to his college app, because he ignored my messages. Went to his college afterwards, stalked him on Facebook, found his family, sent them a message.
I love it. I love you. More of that, please.
Yeah, but he didn't care, and that was a big one. I was like,
did you sue him?
He does no, because like, what are you gonna do? And then you're like, because again, from osteopathy, if someone comes in after a car accident, and if they're doing a legal case because of the car accident, they're not going to get better. It's like, it's a statistic, they're not getting better. So you're taking on this patient because they need to be in court talking about how bad they are, and if they're actually feeling great, they're not going to get do very well in the court case. So it doesn't, so they don't want to get better. So I was like, okay, so that was a big one of like learning to just sort of, get and all of that. And then after that, I fell into jiu-jitsu through the boyfriend I had at the time, and I was like, oh my God, this is where it's at. And then
If you ever write a book, it should be called "This Is Where It's At."
Oh, that's brilliant. I love that, actually.
Yeah. And then and that was super cool because that's like now I'm sort of feeling strong in this space of like men choking you and you're do you know it sounds really weird, doesn't it?
It came out weird, yeah. I just love people joking.
Yeah, it is weird.
Yeah.
But it is weird, like, you're being choked by someone and then actually learning how to get, like, first being okay with it and like learning that, okay, you can tap and he'll let go, generally. And then,
Depends on the situation. In the class, outside of the class is different.
and then learning how to get out of it, and then suddenly you're learning how to like be on the attack, and then you're like, and I was like, this is powerful and this is cool. And then I was competing and busted my shoulder, dislocation, and ruptured the thing, and I couldn't do anything for a good couple of months. And I was like, I'm going to write a book. So I wrote a book on adventure, and it was like playfulness and the importance of adventure. And then that's how Wild Adventure Way came out. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm an entrepreneur. Who knew?
But you really are. You're able to turn, like, your energy is the constant with you, and you just. But no,
Absolutely.
I'm deadly serious. And what
She
I
has
mean is
endless
that
amounts of energy.
all you're doing is you're
Scary.
flipping your focus.
Suspicious.
That's it.
Yeah.
You flip
That's
your
what it was.
focus.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
The energy is there.
Yeah,
It's
otherwise I'd be in
amazing.
jail.
That might come in.
It means in
I
jail.
do very
This
well,
is
I
where it's
think.
at.
I do very well, yes.
You'd be like Bridget Jones in the toy prison with the flags and the bras.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. I do well. So yeah, then it was the adventure thing, and then did that for a while, and I was like, no, this is not where it's at. And, and in that time,
So you end every chapter with this is actually not, but wait, there's more.
and in that time, I'd met Clarence, and Clarence and David were running this I'd been doing a little bit of CrossFit, but it just wasn't quite my thing. But I was still just doing it because I was like just doing something, you know.
For those that are wondering, that's Clarence Kennedy, by the way.
Clarence
The
Kennedy.
Clarence Kennedy.
Clarence Kennedy and the David Nolan, who
The
I
David
often
Nolan.
gets forgotten about, bless him. But he's like really amazing as well. And they were running this like Olympic weightlifting twice a week, and generally people would come like 1 week and then maybe not the other week, and I was there twice a week for I was like, how long is this going on for? I am here. And they sort of started to see that I was like a little bit different, and then within 3 months I'd sign up to my first competition, and then they put me on a program, and I think they checked in with me like a couple of months after, and they were like, are you still doing that same program? I was like, yep, still doing it. And he was like, okay. So he wrote me a different program. And then I just kept on doing programs, and then I remember one session in particular in the place that we were training, that GA club, and I was doing drop snatch. She was like, oh, you're actually kind of fast. I was like, oh, thanks. And then it just kind of snowballed from there, and he was like, I wonder if we could get you to be like, number one weightlifter in Ireland. I was like, yeah, I wonder. And then, I just worked, and at the time I was still kind of working in the club. I was living in a van at the time, no insulation, like rough. And no windows in the van either. So it was one of those vans you'd park up and like no one knew you were in it. Do you know what I mean?
I think it's called homeless. So this is where it's at.
It's very soulful, very soulful. And the thing about a van like that, it really forces you out into nature. You're not like hanging out in the van.
Yeah. So
do you know
like
what I mean?
Yeah, obviously, yeah. So like you're living in a van, but like, what did you do for like? Just to ask the stupid question, for like going to the toilet or showers or.
You don't need to ask that question.
You find a way.
No, that was exactly. I've been doing this kind of living for. I'm actually warm. I've been doing this kind of living for a long time. So and I figured out like if I have a gym membership.
Oh yeah. There you go.
I've got
Oh,
like
you have everything.
I have
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
So like it really started. I got a job working in this osteopathic clinic in Richmond. Richmond's really expensive, apart from this houseboat. €200 a month, class.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but it's €200 a month. Why is it €200 a month?
Oh.
Now the whole
Oh,
houseboat.
is there one of those guys living in the boat?
Well, like it's basically
sharing it.
Yeah, so it's a shared boat, And it generally was like people like detoxing from heroin, or it was really rough. It was really
The cheek
rough.
of them,
And the
200
guy-
quid a month.
I know, and the guy called us the slum. The guy that lived on the millionaire like block next to the boat, who really despised the guys that lived on the boat because they found some loophole, the fact that the boat could even be parked there, and he called us the slum dogs. And I had this like 10-kilo bag that I just shove all my shit in for the day. I had my rollerblades, and I'd rollerblade 10 kilometers to the gym with my bag. Rollerblading with bags is like never good because you get one bit of a wobble. And you're oh my God. Yeah, but anyway.
He used to rollerblade 10k to the fucking gym.
10k to the gym, and then I'd like first thing in the morning, do all my stuff in the gym in the morning, get my shower done, go walk, do the work, come back to the gym, shower again, do another session, sure, while I was there, and then rollerblade back. And
Bloody hell.
hope that no one was going to kill me during the night. And like
I think I'd fear their chances, not yours.
The boat was
They were going to say,
unreal.
I hope she's
All of us like, in each other's room. Everyone's just freaking out and paranoid, you know.
All
They're
they can do is
detoxing.
hear the rollerblades coming across the boat.
Nobody move.
It was mad, and the whole boat was like heated with coal fires. Whoever came home first had to light the coal fire, which also meant like everything was just covered.
Oh, yeah.
Covered. It
Just
was
because I have a picture in my
mad.
head. This is like a boat like Rosie and Jim boat.
This
Yes,
is,
yeah, those canal boats, the
Oh,
long,
yeah.
long.
So it's
but
one
a
of them,
big
yeah,
one.
yeah.
But
And
Yeah.
you're sharing
no,
the-
but a big one. Not like a little one level. Like this was like a big houseboat. And like I never forget. I went onto the boat first, and then the first morning I go. You wake up, and because of the tide, the boat obviously changes. So you came down the steps first, but then when you go out, you're now up, and you have to go down this ramp that's like fucking like this. I was like, this is mental. So yeah, so I'd learned a lot in that period. That like, okay, once I have a gym membership, I'm good. Like I can I'm good. So then my life became kind of centered around gyms. The amount of gyms that I've lived in is insane. Like I've literally for the past 10 years I've just lived
It's clever living,
in
isn't it?
or
Just
around
your-
a gym.
Yeah.
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 And just using it for its fucking... it's
just
class.
lived it and like there when we went to do the session, I had my own bar.
Yeah.
Just bring my stuff with me because no one has a 15-kilo bar. And I just lived in and around gyms, and I just dedicated my life to being as healthy and fit as possible. And I wouldn't be able to deal with a 9 to 5. It's just not. It's just
Yeah,
not
Yeah,
same.
don't.
It's not for
Yeah,
me.
it's, yeah.
not for me.
No, thank you.
You know what I mean? So
no,
this
sir.
was just like how do you make it work? So yeah, that's how I made it work. But
You
at
live
one
off the land,
stage,
kinda.
I don't know. We might have to take this bit out. I tried cat. Someone told me that having a cat litter in your car is also a good way to
Oh, apparently,
go
yeah.
to the bathroom. So you have this little. So at one stage, I lived in
I
a
thought
polo.
it was to take moisture out of the air.
technically it
Yeah,
does.
take moisture and shit out of your
Kind of
body.
does.
So I put it on the front seat, and then you just have a little look around, and you just like get into the front seat of your car, and you're like, no one knows, but you're like sitting on a little cat litter, and you're just
Well, I suppose it makes sense, doesn't it? I mean,
yeah.
needs must.
Needs must. And there are other stories, but I don't think we want to go into
I
that.
think we
kinda
should.
do.
I think we should. We
I have
should.
all these stupid
Every
questions in
single
my
one.
head. Do you know?
Yeah, I like another girl because you learn from each other as well. Another girl literally used to, those little bags you get for fruit and veg. She used to get loads of those. She used to just poop straight into a bag,
Straight into the bag,
just
yeah.
tie it up and then chuck it in the bin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then
That makes sense.
the best way
Okay.
is then you dig a hole, you put it in,
Oh,
cover
yeah.
your poop, and dig it up.
God, that's real
you
wild
go.
living, isn't it? I suppose you do the same
Class,
with the
isn't it?
doggy
Just have to
bag.
do-
You go out
I
with
was
your
just
dog
gonna say, that's how you do
and
with a dog.
That's
It's
it.
just,
put it in
it's
the
just
bin.
But we're so like about it all.
Victorian
It's funny. It's
about
funny.
it, yeah, loose, yeah.
Where does that kind of style of living come from? Just naturally out of you, or did you grow up with someone like that, or
Necessity.
just because like it's so? Yeah, just necessity. Just because obviously, like it's not every day. Do you know?
So I'll send you a video of the polo. So my first thing, I used to have a polo, and I just lived. But first, kite surfing. When you're kite surfing, when you're in the surfing community, everyone's living in a van on the beach. And I didn't have a van, so like I have a polo. It's a polo on the beach. What's the difference? You know what I mean?
Same
so
thing.
yeah, because you want to be there for the morning swell. You want to
yeah,
be
yeah.
there for the sunrise. You want to you don't want to leave the beach because you don't want to miss the conditions and all the rest of it. So I just started living a little bit in the polo, and then I remember I lived in a tent on the beach for a couple of months. And then I was like, oh, I'm just gonna fucking drive south. I'm gonna see if I can get to South Africa. And so I like converted my Polo. This was like 10 years ago, and just started driving south, and ended up in Portugal, and met
Africa enough for me.
pretty much. But then the logistics of actually getting, like, once you get into Morocco, that part of the journey becomes pretty sketchy.
Scary,
apparently.
yeah, it's dodgy, yeah.
It's,
Because you know that runner from the UK was running from the bottom of Africa to the top of Africa. Do you remember that?
The guy with the red hair.
The guy with the red hair.
Rory
yeah.
Mackay.
No,
What was his
God,
name?
I can't remember his name, but he said it was so dangerous that he had to bring team with him, and there were certain countries, I think Morocco was one of them, where they had to be allowed to enter just to run across it, or if they didn't get the go ahead, that they'd be shot on the spot.
Yeah.
So a lot of the running was held up with getting permission to cross.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a class story. That fella, I can't
Yeah.
remember his name.
I have it's
The hardest something is his name.
it's the hardest geezer.
Hardest geezer, that's him, yeah.
Yeah.
But so how far down Africa did you go?
No, I got to Portugal, met
That was
Colin.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Did it. Well, the reason why I didn't keep going is because I met Colin, started training down there, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I got really badly injured there by one of his guys that isn't in the gym anymore because he just had a terrible temper. I mean, this is the kind of guy, he got kicked out of his church group. Who gets kicked out of their church group?
I think I would.
Well, I don't know. I'm in America now.
Yeah, I could see me getting kicked out.
Why did he get kicked out? What did he do?
He's just an
He
asshole.
kicked God into the knee.
Yeah. So, yeah, he...
And he injured you.
He
Hang on a second. So
injured me,
at this
yeah.
point, so you're kind of gone into your jiu-jitsu fighting side, and
So I'm
what did this
still
fella do?
doing
What
it.
did?
He like sometimes, so you're younger, you're a small female, and it's sometimes annoying for likes of, like, he'd have been your size, and you know, I'm very flexible and fast, and like I'm just annoying, you know, you just want to
Yeah,
smash
yeah.
me, do you know what I mean?
Stop moving.
Kinda, and he would have also taken, he would have been known for taking steroids, and then there would have been 1 week during his cycle where he just would hurt a couple of people, and it's grand when it's another lad that's like able to take it, but he just like got onto my back, flattened me out, and ripped my neck up, and I just remember, and I couldn't move it for ages, and I
Oh
was
my God.
in the polo anyway, so like the logistics of getting into the polo and sleeping were challenging in their own, you know,
My
you know what I
God.
mean? So it was just, it was a struggle. So anyway, I ended up staying there a little bit longer, and then I just kind of got into it, and I just fell in love with the place. And
That's about
that was
10
it.
years ago, is it?
Yeah.
That you? Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're there a while.
Yeah, so I there for like a couple of years. Then I ended up coming back, doing some stuff here, the Wild Adventure Way stuff, and then I was always going back. It's just a class place. It's freedom. It's like you thrive there. Do you know? Whereas here you're like surviving.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah, in the
exactly
cold.
it.
You're like
Yeah.
just about getting through the day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
it's
like,
Pontish, yeah.
you know, and even like affording, you know, especially when you live in the sticks, you're driving everywhere, and
Yeah.
like just to afford to live here is mental. And I was like, okay, so shit, if I live here, I need to make how much for rent? That means I need to do how much work? That I was like, fuck, I don't know, how do people do this? I can't do this.
Angrily. Angrily.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
I can't, like, I just can't, I don't see how I've never managed to do it. So fair play to everybody that's doing it. But like,
I didn't like it.
0 out of 10 would not recommend. Yeah.
But
I
I
think
just-
maybe I need to go to Portugal.
I've never managed it. I've just never managed to do. I've just
But
never
you
managed to
didn't
do
It's
it.
good
You're
though that you
flourishing.
recognise that you could manage it and you did something about it. You just fucked off
Yeah,
to a manageable
yeah,
environment.
way,
Yeah.
Just run
I
away.
wish more people do that. It's not even run away. It's finding what suits it.
Yeah,
You know,
that's it. Just go with the flow.
and
Go
not
with the flow.
accepting that you
Go with
have
the
to
flow.
fucking do this 9 to 5 horse shit.
That's it.
And just fucking
I think
go.
we're taught not to go with the flow. You're taught
Yeah.
to fit in a box, in an
Yeah.
administrative box
Yeah.
within
Yeah.
a country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for sure, for sure. And I suppose the big one was like being okay with the concept that I might be homeless. Like that was the fear. It's like, shit, so what's the worst that could happen here? It's like you end up homeless on the street. I'm like, I think I'm okay with that. Like I think I could figure something out, and I've got enough skills to give treatments, to figure out food, to like I think I could do this. So I drove down, and like I had my massage table. It's mad what I fit into that yoke. But anyway, I had my massage table with me, and I had to get a toll on the last on the last toll, I had to get an IOU. So I was stuck in a certain place. So I couldn't even afford. I didn't realize like the tolls were going to be that expensive. And I just like work my way down, and I'd like get a bit of cash on the beaches from doing treatments, and then work to my next place. And I was like, okay, no, I can do this. But the ultimate fear was like ending up homeless on the street. And then once I kind of became okay with that, I was like, no, I'm good with this. And now looking back, I'm like, no, I'm so fucking happy that I put the priority of like the sessions and lifting and doing the work versus signing up to the 9 to 5 and losing like potential sessions.
Yeah.
Training
That's
sessions.
it. Yeah. That's what it's about. Yeah.
Isn't it though? You know, because like this
Because
is
the 9 to 5s and jobs were kind of interrupting my training sessions, and I was like, I have enough of this 9 to 5.
And do you know
crack.
what? At the end of the day, you're dead from it.
Yeah, you can't.
Absolutely
Do you know what I
dead from
mean?
it. You have to
Yeah.
drag
Yeah.
yourself to the gym.
like I can't do the two. And then with the people with the osteopathy, I was like, someone would come in with a dodgy hip, and I'm like, oh, poor you, and oh, let's get this hip. And then the next day, I was like, she's my fucking hip. Do you know what I mean? Like, 'cause I take on everything. You come in with a shoulder, and I'm like, oh yeah. But it was kind of cool because I'd get the shoulder problem, I'd figure out how to treat it because I treat it myself, and then I'd tell the person, okay, look, you got to do X, Y, and Z. But it's not a very good, like, it's not the best way to run a practice because, like, taking on everyone's fucking problems, figuring out from the inside how to deal with it. I was like, okay, no, I'm only going to work with certain people, and I'm only going to touch you if I really fucking have to. But like generally, I don't even have to touch people to make them feel better. I can get them to feel so much better by just doing something on their own, and it's way more empowering versus them leaving thinking, "Oh, I need the magic touch."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I need
yeah.
the magic touch. I need to go and see my osteopath once a week, otherwise I can't. Fucking, I was like, oh my gosh, no, no. That's not the mentality I want to create in people. It's like, no, you have got everything you need to get yourself wherever you want to get to. You don't need me. You know, I'll just like help guide you, shove you in the right
I
right
love
direction.
that.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I love it. It's teaching freedom as well, isn't it?
Big
Yes,
time.
it is, yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
So you became one of the greatest, this is the nice part for me, you became one of the greatest Irish weightlifters ever, right? Yeah. And you'd imagine Ireland would have grabbed you by the head and said, oh great, we have a person here who could possibly win gold for us at the fucking Olympics, right?
And being unreal. Yeah.
Exactly, because I know weightlifting and I know what you're capable of and what you've already done, and you would have come out with a gold. And it's really annoying that, like, first of all, they wouldn't give you
Still gonna go for it.
they wouldn't give you a passport for years.
No.
Sorry?
Well, so when I was, I kept it a secret that I didn't have the Irish passport because I was so ashamed that I wasn't Irish for so long, especially in front of Clarence and all the
Well,
rest
you
of
are,
it.
but it's just not on paper.
Not
which
on
is,
paper,
do you know, yeah.
exactly. So then it came out at the national, and I just thought, look, if I just get really fucking good, maybe it won't even matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in powerlifting, you only need to be eligible for an Irish passport, and then you can compete for Ireland.
Right.
In weightlifting, they made it a rule, and the thing is that, and that's another annoying thing, like they make the fucking rules. Do you know what I mean? So you can just like make the rules to
As they go
You
along.
can
yeah,
undo
yeah.
it, yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, like, just make better rules
Yeah.
that suit everybody.
inclusive.
Because if
rules.
I was Irish Weightlifting Association and I made the rules, I'd say, well, do you know what? You're eligible. That's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Do you know?
I
If
know I would
nothing
as well.
else,
Yeah.
Do you know what? We should fucking...
But I just felt like, because I've obviously spoke to you about this before, that the Irish weightlifting are very fucking, because we have this bit of this in the Irish community, strength community as well. They're clannish.
Yeah.
And they look after themselves.
It's a family.
And it's a family. And if you're not part of the family and following rules, you're called an outsider.
Yeah.
That's very toxic.
But it's everywhere.
It's so fucking
everywhere.
toxic, but it's everywhere,
It's
yeah.
everywhere. Like I remember doing a bodybuilding competition, like way back when, and if you didn't get the bikini from the girl, like, well, that was it. If you didn't get the tan from her, well, now you're definitely not
I've
gonna...
heard of that.
Oh, yeah.
way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's,
What?
Yeah. So you have to get a very particular bikini. You have to get the tan. You have to get the
And the
makeup. you have
bikinis
to have
cost
certain,
a fortune.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like 700 quid
Yeah.
for fucking bikinis, yeah.
Yeah, so it's everywhere. And then like every federation, the rowing federation, you hear stories about that. There's the Portuguese weightlifting federation. They've just split up and now you've got a renegade federation over here. The Dutch federation were also an interesting crew that were like, do you know what I mean? Like it's just
Yeah.
everywhere. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And so then
I
it was
fucking
like...
hate humans.
Stupid humans.
It's so fucking stupid because like
know.
you have the abilities to win a fucking goal for Ireland.
know.
And it's just like, oh no, we're going to put you in a big long fucking wait line here for ages.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And I
so-
went and spoke to like I spoke to the minister. I had like Healy Ray on the case. I had like the worst. I had smoked. He sent a special letter. You got onto
I got
someone.
into Dermot and Dave on Today FM, and I was like, "Can we help?" I put in a thing. I was like, "She has the ability to win goal for Ireland.
Oh, I
she just
remember
needs
that.
a little help."
Can
And
one
Dave-
of us marry you to make you Irish?
And Dave was like, "We can't touch on it because it's too controversial, and we only touch on stuff that's nice and safe and
Nice
left."
and fluffy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, you got your passport.
So I
finally.
got my passport. It took me 4 years. Let's say about €1,500 in terms of like 1,000 for the actual application. Another couple of €100 for the next bit, and then traveling over and all the rest of it. So like €1,500, let's say, and I get this Irish passport, and by the end of it, I'm like, why the fuck did I even get this? Like, what am I? Oh, because I want to compete for a weight. Do I actually want to compete for a weightlifting Ireland? Do you know what I mean? It was just all
They
of
should
that.
have
Just made it-
capitalised in the beginning.
I was
Yeah.
just like, oh, I don't even know if I fucking want to do this. And then when I went and the last straw really was when they sent out this like thing of like, oh yeah, we got loads of Sport Ireland funding. We've got like they got loads. Like one athlete got like 15,000, another athlete got like 10,000, and then they had a couple of thousand left over. Like nothingness. Like I think I was applying for €2,000, but in it, I had said, look, I've got my Irish passport. It's cost me this much. I'm not working with Clarence Kennedy anymore, which like, you know, because Clarence had like created a couple of videos where he was like, drugs are great. And, you know, I'm just like,
Clarence is kind of on that outsiders list as well.
okay. So I was like, you know, maybe that's why. And we always thought like I'm on the back foot because of that. You know, like the amount of times I got drug tested in competition.
You showed me a video recently that fucking annoyed me as well, because
Mid-competition.
mid-competition.
competition?
Imagine
Are
taking
they allowed
off
to
your
do that?
No, they're not.
football, you know, mid-game, pulling an athlete off. Like you can't, and no one apologized. That was the thing that pissed me off. And I was on my period. And
Can you call them out? No.
Well,
Can we-
I've created the video. I had it all on footage.
Yeah, I don't know if you made it live, but yeah. So
Aye,
like,
we should share
normally
that.
what happens
In
is
the fucking middle.
in the middle
normally
of
what
it.
happens
Can you
is
give us context around what happened and who it was in the competition and who pulled you off the?
So I'm there. I've just done a 100-kilo snatch. That was that day.
Jesus
And now I'm
Christ.
warming up for clean and jerk. I'm at 95 kilos on the bar. The competition is happening, so it's a rising bar. So I've got maybe 10 minutes until I'm going to be competing. So I'm like, and you're like, I was hoping to lift 120 kilos that day in the clean and jerk, which is like a heavy weight. And if you've got urine inside of your bladder, like you want to get rid of that before you're fucking on the platform. The last thing you want to do is like pee on the platform. Plus I'm on my period, so I just want to double check that my cup's in all right and all the rest of it. So I'm going to go to the bathroom, and then I've got people that are like, sorry, you can't go to the bathroom now. You've been nominated for a drug testing, so you're going to have to go to the bathroom in front of us. I was like, are you fucking joking? I was like, no, I have to. I'm like lifting. I have to. She was like, no, I'm sorry. I was like, but I have to. I was like, oh no, fuck it, whatever. So I lifted one more lift. I was like, no, I really need to go to the bathroom. So she was like, okay, fuck it, no, I need to go to the bathroom. So I walk in there, and she's like, okay, can you put the gloves on? You need to sign this piece of paper. I'm like, and
What?
this is like, it's in the bar, I've got 10 minutes. And she's like, are you in a hurry? Yeah. and I was like, so I'm in there, I've got this person inside the bathroom with me. I do a little piss, have to change my moon cup in front of her. Complete stranger. It's very, anyway,
You
whatever.
should have like been, oops.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry. I should have done.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then.
Oh, here, will you hold that for me for a
And
second?
then she was, yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's okay. Oh god. Small breaths.
Oh man. Yeah, there's a lot more I could have done in that moment. But anyway. And then they want me to fill out all this form and paperwork.
Oh, for fuck's
because
sake.
you can't, and I'm like, no,
So annoying.
fuck this. So I go back out and I leave my sample there. So it can't even be used because I've lost sight of it. And anyway, so I go and finish and I remember I was just upset and fuming. You got no one to talk to. Anyway, I had a shit performance then on the platform.
But sure, it impedes your ability to prep
Absolutely.
yourself mentally.
But I would have liked to
I'm
be
fucking
strong
angry.
enough to get over that. And the next time, if that was to happen, grand. I'll be so fucking zen and cool and chill. I'll be able to handle it. And it was like an ultimate test. I failed, but that's okay. And
So fucking annoying.
yeah.
Though.
And then I had to go and do the testing after. And then that's another thing. Like, so you've just done all of this like mad fucking effort. And, you know, if you look at the people in the background while I've done the 100 kilo, I said it to you earlier, 100 kilo snatch, and it's interesting being in a space where people want you to fail. Do you know what I mean? Like, and you're
Yes.
going up against
And
people
there's-
wanting you to fail.
Yeah.
And she literally just looks at her hand and just goes like this. And I was like, that's just so sad, isn't it? Like that we
Do you know what
can't
it is, though?
support each other.
It's so Irish.
Oh, it's so sad.
So Irish, because like,
I'm like
I was thinking about when you said that the girl was in the background, she
Yeah.
couldn't give a fuck. She was probably sickened that you got that press.
and wishing
But
that I didn't. You know what I mean?
if I was at World's Strongest Man, right, if any one of us, and we're all competing against each other,
Yeah.
all these different
Yeah.
countries,
Yeah.
they're so happy for you.
Yeah.
They're clapping
Yeah.
for you, and
Yeah.
they're fucking.
And that's the way it fucking should be.
That's amazing.
And
He
if you-
beat me, but it's so
That's
amazing
it,
he beat me.
But it's like, oh, I'm gonna fucking that raises the ladder, and like now I'm gonna reach for that because I know
Yeah.
that's fucking possible.
Yeah.
And-
Exactly.
do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but it doesn't bring that out in our little community.
Yeah.
And then now you've got to spend like an hour and a half extra producing another sample, writing out all the forms, doing like, and
Why
and I'm
can't
not,
they do
and
it
I'm not on the
then?
team. I'm not on the
That's
team.
when it's meant to be done.
And it's meant to be done. And the thing is, I'm not. They've already said that you don't have a passport, so you're not on the team, and you're not like eligible.
And just again, what
So-
federation is this?
Weightlifting Ireland.
So weightlifting
The only-
Ireland. So I'm
the
assuming
only
their
weightlifting
rules
federation.
are published on their website
Yeah.
for anyone to see.
Yeah.
Do you think it was strategic
Absolutely.
that they did that?
She's not in
no.
she's not in the clan.
No, I don't.
I think it
it's
was.
strategic that they
Or poor
that
management.
they've tested me. It was poor management, and what the lady said actually is, "Oh, we had an athlete yesterday that said we should have come up to her sooner because she can't pee. She'd already gone for a pee." I was like, yeah,
Oh, so
but-
they can change the rules mid-competition because some punter said
'Cause
that
one
they needed.
person,
Because
so
then
then
everybody.
fuck off.
No.
Fuck off.
I know.
And like for whatever drug you would have taken,
Yeah.
what's the half-life of a performance-enhancing drug that it's gone after a half an hour?
Exactly. Does none exist.
Exactly. So they
Exactly,
could have
yeah.
tested you
Yeah.
a half an hour after you'd
Yeah.
competed.
Oh no, that's the standard. Is it's at the end of the competition you have to wait and like do it all at the end.
And
it's
you'd
grand,
happily
but-
done it, like
Well, happily, but
Well,
yeah,
You do it.
I do it.
happily done at that time.
yeah,
me.
yeah,
Like, that's
yeah. And it's
bullshit.
just, but the thing is, like, I'm not even on the team. You've already said that I'm not. I'm not even eligible. They stopped. They stopped me from competing at nationals after I did really well at the last nationals that I did, where I became like number one. They were like, okay, that's it. If you don't have an Irish passport, you're not allowed to compete at nationals anymore. So at that stage, then none of my scores were counted, and I so for the last 4 years, I wasn't able to compete in national championships. And then and you're just like, even then in terms of getting sponsorship, you go and ask someone for sponsorship. Yeah, but why aren't you like on the Weightlifting Ireland page, or you haven't competed at nationals? Or
Is there a bit of nepotism in
You know.
that space? Like, is there people who are related to people, and they're the people?
It's
who
clannish. It's not even that. It's a clan.
and it is a family.
It's a family. It's an
there
actual
is-
family, is it?
There is a family in it. So like each member of the family is in it, and then there's other members, other
right,
people.
okay.
But there's a solid family that really runs.
Oh, it's a bit
It's that real
Trump-esque, isn't
toxic-
it?
I was
just going to say individualism and just keeping it here
Yeah.
instead of wanting it to be great for everyone together.
Yeah,
But see, that's
no.
the thing, like, because it would have been good for the Irish weightlifting association to have someone in their fucking group that was that
That was
good.
doing really well, exactly. Put us on the map again.
Do you know? And I thought I was angry last night watching Married at First Sight. I'm fucking
way worse
hot
now.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Such a
yeah.
waste of talent.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's annoying.
Well, it's not a waste of talent, but like that they
It used to always
utilise
be
it. You
fuel
know.
to the fire, but then it got tiring. And then when I asked for funding, and they were like, "No," I was like, "I can do no more." Actually, like I've literally gone to every single competition. I have trained me bollocks off. I've got rid of. I'm not with the coach that might have been given a bad name and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
You know.
It's funny because any of the Irish athletes that have been associated with me get the same thing
Yeah.
at
What?
competitions.
Yeah.
That they're kind of frowned upon. Oh, he's with Padwire.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Maeve gets a bit of it.
Ah, yeah.
And
Guilty by association?
Yeah,
Yeah.
guilty by association.
And
Yeah.
so
That's why they look
associated
weird at
to
me at
what?
work.
Associated to what?
Me.
But what do you do?
Because they don't like me.
Why?
And you're so nice, like.
So nice. Thank you. It's because, see, the Irish strength community want me to be going around massaging their egos constantly. And if you don't message them individually and tell them how great they are, because I'm at this higher level, right? And if I don't go around massaging all their egos, Paz a cunt, he doesn't talk to me anymore. He left me in red there last week.
More
Jonas-
dick swinging.
Oh my God! If they
Yeah.
understood
But
what you were
here's
like,
the thing, right?
for anyone
He doesn't
listening,
answer us,
he
his
doesn't answer
family.
ours
No.
either. Like, that's
I was explaining her
it's
there a
actually
while
a
ago.
character flaw.
I was explaining to Star a while ago, right? If you were nice to me before in the past, I'll remember it and I will give it back to you.
Why
But if
do you
you've been
leave me on red then?
Because you weren't
That's-
nice to him.
because but if you were a cunt to me before, I will like completely.
You're black
I'm not
and
talking
white,
to you.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I put up a story during the week. I tried out this new deadlift suit, and there was a couple of Irish athletes messaged me, and they're like, "Oh, what's the new deadlift suit?" I was like, "Oh, are we just going to forget that you called me a fucking cunt behind my back 4 years ago?" Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to forget all about that.
Yeah.
So just, yeah, we're but yeah, that's because you were associated with Clarence.
Yeah, I
and it's
think-
like, oh, she's one of his.
Yeah.
That's her clan, Clarence clan. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why is it
And
so
we're the fucking-
parochial? I don't understand.
I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
It's ridiculous.
But like she said, it's all a lot of fucking
Limited human thinking.
It is.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
stupid.
and poor
Yeah.
emotional intelligence
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
well.
it's
Yeah.
like
I think.
lack of fucking just. But see, go to World's Strongest Man. It's the complete opposite. We share each other's stuff.
it's lovely.
We give each other like I take off my sleeves and like use mine. These are better ones.
Yeah, no, I've
like,
seen
do
that.
you know,
I've
yeah.
seen that. It's lovely.
It's fucking class.
It's lovely, and you're all using one piece of equipment to warm up on.
We're all sharing.
Do you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Do you want me to get that for you? Yeah, thanks. Yeah,
It's
do you know?
unreal. It's unreal. Whereas, like, weightlifting is very like you're on your own. You're just like, and if you don't go to a competition with a coach, I mean, you're just on your own. No one's gonna help you. You have to ask for someone to help you beforehand. And if you're there and you haven't managed to ask because you've like flown in from Portugal and whatever, and the TV screen is like way over the other side of the room, and you're over here, and it's tiny room. You gotta no one's there to help you. And like I remember I was going for again 120 at the Galway competition. Everybody knew I was going for 120, and there's this like process of like because I'm following myself, I've got like it's all very, I don't even fucking understand the rules at this stage of 5 years in. Like I think you got 30 seconds to make a change. And because you're following yourself, to get a little bit more time, you can be like, you make little changes. So I'll tell them that I'm looking for 117, but I'm really looking for 120. But I'm going to say 117, and then in 30 seconds, I'm going to change that to 118, and then in 30 seconds, I'll change it to 120. And then I've managed to get a minute and a half of extra rest. Otherwise, I'd only get two.
Right.
It's very complicated. I
Right.
really don't get it. And so I've told her I actually want 120, but I'm just like, and I'm here. She like maybe there. Like I'm here, she's there, and I'm just getting myself psyched up. I've got headphones in. I'm getting myself psyched up for this big lift. And then the next thing I go, you missed it. You've missed it. I'm like, what do you mean I missed? What do you mean I missed it? Yeah, you've missed it. You can't make any changes now. I'm like, I'm literally, you know?
How is somebody allowed to talk to you in that moment where you're trying to lift something?
Yeah, no. So no one's there to help you
Slack
lift
respect.
bigger weights. Whereas, like in this federation, but now I've started competing in this Portuguese federation, and it's just so different. And like you
Better?
walk it, just lovely. It's like
Yeah.
okay, my lifting platform in the warm up was totally on level, and there's like but I don't fucking care. They're smiling
they're
and
nice.
they're like nice and they're like encouraging and stuff. So
Love
like
that.
I'll take an unlevel platform any day of the week for that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but you just don't. I have not felt that sense there, and now it's at a point where like I don't even want to pay to be. I don't want to walk in. I don't even want to be there. I actually don't want, and no one, and they don't want me there either. That's the thing. And at one stage it was like I was rocking up with a little because I started representing Earth. I was like, fuck this, I'm gonna represent Earth.
Brilliant.
And so, like, a little, and there's a little bit fucking renegade factor and whatnot. And I was like, fueled to the fire. And I didn't give a fuck. And I'd rock up and I'd do my thing and all the rest of it. And then at a certain point, you're just like, oh, it's just tiring. You're just over it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just like, I got to a point where I was like, I'm just fucking over it.
Fuck this.
Fuck this. I'm going to change sport.
So now
I was going to say, and so where to from here?
So the aim is UFC.
AIM is like, well, we're talking about UFC. UFC isn't actually the best organization, but it's kind of like
Most popular one,
It's
anyway.
the most popular one, and it's almost you have this idea of like the pinnacle of MMA. It's UFC.
It's UFC, yeah. Even though it mightn't be the best, but it's
It's
the best,
I still
yeah.
want to fucking and I was there training away for Olympic weightlifting, hitting all these barriers. But I'm in an MMA gym with a phenomenal MMA coach, an MMA training partners, and I'm like, am I missing the opportunity here? Do you know what I mean? Like,
This is where it's at.
am I missing the like when you're like really struggling hard to go like upstream that way, and then you're like, oh, fucking flowing down the river is flowing down this way.
For ye that don't know, like her star's partner is Colin Byrne, who
Right.
is a coach of Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Really?
Does he like him?
He-
I'm I'm just coming straight in with the hard
And just
questions.
funny
He
'cause
likes the child in him.
Right.
You know, the soul in him is like love. You know, it's a soul. Like,
But
you know.
overall corrupted, like a.
Well, I mean, he's just gone downhill, isn't he?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know, and he's
really,
just lost.
really.
He's lost himself. So like, he's
But
not.
that
he's
much
not
money
himself.
and that much power and stuff.
Exactly. So he's
Yeah.
lost himself at the moment. So no, I'd say at the moment he doesn't fucking like him. Who fucking does? But you know,
He has
if he
potential to
walked
come
into
back.
the gym, like we're there with open arms. Our gym wouldn't be there if it wasn't for him. Like we wouldn't have a matted space that we have if it wasn't for him. There's a lot of shit that we wouldn't have if it wasn't for him. And even the inspiration of like when he was unreal and great, like there's a lot that like I'm very grateful for him for. And if
Yeah.
he walked through the fucking gym, like absolutely, you know, I'm not.
I suppose you know enough about him that you can balance the good against
Yeah.
this temporary space
See,
that
like
he's
the
in.
2013 version of Connor was just such an amazing fella,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, and I understand. I like fully accept people fuck up. You know what I mean? And going down, like if he can get himself back up, like the lessons that he'll have learned will be incredible. But you know, can he get himself back up?
He could
there?
take on just a
You know?
little bit of humility. Would
But see,
would
like
do
the thing
so
about
much
it
for
is,
him.
he's taking so much cocaine. I think he's just not himself anymore.
That's it. He's just not
He's just
himself.
this.
himself.
He's like this
Monster.
monster of fucking.
Yeah.
It's just not Conor McGregor anymore, is it?
No, it's a shadow.
It's a shadow. It's like this
demon.
fucking
It's a
evil
fucking
demon that's after taking over him. Yeah.
Yeah, so if he can get himself out of there and through that, like he'll become a phenomenal human being again. Because like to go through the shit and come back out, like
Is there
holy
enough
smokes.
forgiveness in the population though to allow him to do that if that's his journey?
I think there is. Yeah. I think if he can come out the other end of it, but like
If
the
the-
first
well,
thing
if
he
they're-
has to
The
do is.
president of the United States
Can do it.
can do it.
Yeah,
Well,
and
actually, he's getting worse, but if he can climb to there, do you know, and have that many fans,
Yeah.
there's hope for him.
I think there's hope for him. Yeah. I think there is.
Absolutely.
He just needs to. I don't know what needs to happen for him.
Well, he needs to act a little bit contrite.
He can't, but sure, like that's what I'm saying. He's not himself.
Yeah.
The powder is doing all the talking, is doing all the tweeting. He's like, oh, do you know what we should say next?
And which
They're all stroking each other's egos. Sure, wasn't he at the inauguration as well? Trump surrounding himself
But
with
like
his
they
little
were
cronies.
even like the Paul
Stop it.
brothers and
Yeah.
Theo Von were like the energy this man has at 7 a.m. should be illegal.
Conor
They're
McGregor.
talking
is.
about Conor McGregor, yeah, kind of.
Energy.
The energy, yeah.
Energy.
But see,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. It's
Yeah.
like first thing in the morning. Oh baby,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah.
Ew.
Maybe
Can
that's
imagine
what we should
having-
be doing in
do you know
9
that
to
song,
5s.
by
No. Cocaine.
Yeah. Get you ready for the morning, right?
Yeah.
And then off you go into a customer call.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
like,
Takes
imagine-
the edge off the day.
like
Oh, it'd be good for sales and kind of.
I'm not in sales.
No, but fighting with people in face to face and.
Oh, fighting with people, yeah.
Well, you were kind of selling bigger contracts. Contract renewal.
I have heard that they started using cocaine as pre-workout. There's a lad in Killarney that got busted for
yeah,
selling
I've heard about it. Yeah.
Yeah, he was keeping it in a little locker in the gym, and then he was selling that and gear together. So people were using fucking cocaine as pre-workout. Can you imagine?
But it's like what we were talking about
Having
there a
the
couple of weeks
cash
ago.
funds for that.
They're putting
Fucking hell.
crack cocaine into
Oh, world's strongest man into pre-workout.
pre-workouts. Yeah, so I came across
What's wrong
this.
with ordinary pre-workout?
It's just not the same, is it? So I remember I was
Spoken like
I
someone
won't-
knows.
I won't say who, but I was given
Crack
pre-workout.
cocaine.
I was given pre-workout a couple of times, and he was like, "Oh, you need to use this one. This is the best pre-workout I've ever used." And I was like, "Oh, fuck it, I'll try some of that." And it was a tub of
Did he hand you a needle as well?
pre-workout called no, it was Craze. It was actual tub of
Craze.
with a
DS
broken
made it.
seal.
So look, that's what you used to make it. Craze, it's called, right?
Oh, yeah.
Meth-like substance. Found in-
That's what I was using.
Stop.
So like we were fucking buzzing off our heads on fucking meth.
Stop.
Oh
But
my
diet pills used to. One of my not so proud moments was like when we used to be in that kind of scene, and I remember fucking crushing up diet pills and snorting diet pills because they had like meth.
Meth inside them, yeah.
Yeah, the meth and speedy stuff inside of it.
Pseudoephedrine or something, isn't
Do
it?
not
One of
recommend.
those?
Like,
Yeah.
it's a long time.
Pseudoephedrine, yeah.
Ephedrine, yeah.
Makes you crazy.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, so diet pills, women fucking just it gives them that fucking
Oh,
buzz.
the zing,
Do you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Zing, yeah.
Do you remember in the 90s, what was the stuff that came from America?
America. God,
What
I
was it
can't remember
called?
the name of it.
But it was that basically
Yeah.
the
Rocket
speed in
fuel,
it,
like,
yeah.
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 So talk to us about time. You have a big kind of belief in the human construct of time, and you don't believe in it, and you don't believe in age.
don't believe in it.
It's not that you don't believe in it, you just don't go, you don't use it.
Even like the word belief is a funny word that I've been kind of playing with. I got really upset. Like it's hard living in here actually.
I know. Training here.
You know what I mean? Like I got really upset at a certain point. I was like, what is this whole bollocks that we have? Like, let's talk about Santa and Christmas and this whole idea that we're getting children to believe in something that we know is not true. And the amount of effort that we put into getting them to believe in a lie. And then when you find out that it's not true and you're like, why the fuck have I put all this belief into
You're setting them up for a failure at the end of it, aren't you? Yeah,
like,
it's a lie.
It's a lie.
Yeah.
And I got so pissed off with it. And so that's what belief means to me, is this like idea that you like believe. And I was like, oh.
Or like
It's a
organized
weird
religion.
kind of social
Yeah.
contract that
Yeah.
people
And
are
it
expected to buy into.
wraps you up and it wraps everyone
Yeah.
up and then all this like commercial and then
And it's all to do with money. That's all it is.
Yeah,
It's a
money,
big
money,
fucking
yeah.
and I
money
feel
thing. Yeah.
Consumerism.
so upset and stressed every year with Christmas. And then I just stopped spending Christmas with my family, and I would like just end up at the top of a mountain somewhere on my own, trying to sort of, you know yourself.
Yeah.
The direction of time is not linear.
Well, and then I just started to sort of play with these idea of like what belief is and religion and like the difference between belief and knowing something, like, you know, and then choosing those words carefully. And then this idea of, yeah, like time. So like I would start getting really stressed out about time and like looking at the clock, and the next thing I was like, oh, I don't have fucking time to do this. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna fucking take the clock off the wall. So
Yeah.
honestly, took the
Yeah.
clock off the wall. I feel great, and I still catch myself looking up at it, and then it's not there, and I don't have that little emotional stress response. I'm like, fuck, this is great. And then it was like, I'm gonna get rid of the phone. The phone is definitely not doing
I remember
me.
I couldn't contact you for about 12 months because she threw a phone in the bin.
I was like, this is not where it's like, yeah, no,
She
literally,
literally fucking
everyone,
phoned into the bin.
even my phone,
And I got a random email.
everyone,
Yeah.
just like,
Just got a random email one day. Hey. I'm like, oh, you're alive.
I'd gone through a big roller coaster of like, you know, like, what is this all about? You know?
I wish more people would visit that place in their head. I
yeah.
really do.
They should.
Yeah.
Most
absolutely.
people aren't capable of it. I'd
No.
say.
Of getting
No.
back out of it. It's interesting. Yeah, you really do feel like you go through.
So
You
it's
go
just-
into the mental space. You go
Yeah.
into like it's a psychosis of sorts. You
So
know,
like
it's-
you don't believe in time, or there I said it again. So like you've eliminated time from your life.
Yeah, ageless and timeless, nameless,
Ageless and timeless.
faceless, ageless, nameless, timeless. Yeah.
Well, if you look at it over a global population, we are 0 when we're born. Is it the Japanese or some culture? You're 1 when you're born. So even the concept of time across populations is not the same.
Yeah.
Or over time itself is not the same.
Yeah.
So it is all a construct.
Yeah,
And if you travel out in space, so if I go to space and you stay here and I travel very far away and I come back, technically I would be younger than you and I would have aged
Yep.
less. So
Yeah.
it depends on where you are in.
It depends how fast you go.
Quantum
universe.
world.
Yeah,
And
so
how
it's
fast
all
you
I
go.
love
perspective.
all that stuff.
It's all perspective. It's all
Yeah.
and I remember being very young and figuring out like, shit, I've done so like I'm the same age as this person, but this person literally has not left town, like hasn't left.
You
Yeah.
age differently in your
I was
mind
like-
with what you're
Yeah.
exposed
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
Like we are not the same age here, you know. There's
Yeah.
like, and I remember
Yeah.
people always saying, "Oh, you're very, you know, very wise for your age." And there's always these ideas of like, okay, it's a perspective. It's like it's very, very relative. And then
So wisdom should be tied to experience, not age.
yeah, for sure. Or
A broad experience, because you
Yeah.
could experience your own town over time, which isn't good.
It might be what
Time
you're
again.
open to as well, though.
that's it.
You kind of have an
Openness to
open-
experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then this idea that I remember reading this book about is God an illusion, and it was this
Yes.
this
Yes.
debate between and it
The end.
It's a very short book, actually.
3 pages.
A picture of him. It was actually a blank page.
Is that him? No.
yeah, and it was this debate between a physicist and Deepak Chopra.
Oh, yep.
Yep. Oh, yeah. What did I just bring up for you there?
I just. And I even followed Deepak on LinkedIn for a while, and it got all a bit weird.
It was the physicist.
Leonard Chatow.
Oh, okay. No, I was thinking of someone else. Okay, go on.
Carry on.
So he was talking about the idea that a snail's nervous system would work 15 times slower. And so a snail is perceiving time 15 times slower. So Time is dependent on the state of my nervous system. So if I can get my nervous system to work faster, so inject adrenaline, now my system is working faster, I'm able to eat up time faster. So the next thing you know, I'm like crashing my parents' car and I'm doing like a full fucking thing and time's going very fucking slowly. It's like we're doing this slow-mo. Do you know what I mean? But it's only because my system's going so fast that I'm able to take it in. So now the state of my nervous system to like changes my perception of time. So if I can meditate and be zen and like be chill, now time's going to go a little bit slower. If I'm living in a like state of stress constantly, time fucking goes like this and next thing you know I'm dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Or even the concept of experiencing time as a child, you'd think back and I had fucking loads of time as a child, and now as an adult, I'm like, I have to do this and I have to go here and I have to do, and it's all tied to time and stress.
Time,
Gone. Time.
It's because that fucking
Gone.
clock on the wall,
Yeah, and like, and you notice, you look at the clock, and then you get this fucking thing straight away. I'm like, oh no, fuck that.
Yeah, and the whole point,
The
whole
Sunday
point-
scaries.
Yeah, but the whole point of his meditation was it, and I think was it 3 minutes a day or something. You take yourself out of time just for a small little snippet of every day because we're all fucking stuck in this rat race, and it's an interesting concept. And I
Not
love
for
it.
long. I'm retiring soon.
Ah, lovely.
I've decided.
Ah,
Yeah. I want to be retired by 50.
Go on.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, it means I'll be poor, but I think I'm okay with
That's
that.
how you've really just got to be okay with that, and
Yeah,
then you'll be
yeah,
okay
yeah,
with,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it'll all work out.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, it all
works
works
out,
It
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
all works out. And
Oh
like,
my God,
what's the worst
I'll
that can
come
happen to
do
you?
it too.
You know? Yeah.
Sell up and move to Portugal.
Yeah.
Okay, done.
No, Portugal.
Should all move into the
polo.
Cozy.
Where's the calendar box? I need
Number one only.
I'm using it.
No, you're not allowed to use the same one.
No, you'd have to get one of those ones with like the hood on it. You know what I mean?
I'm not done yet.
But really, yeah, like what's it all for? And they keep raising the retirement age. Like, fuck off. When am I supposed to be able to kick back and enjoy myself
Yeah.
and not feel like I have to be constantly running or paying
It's like I was
bills?
saying about Freddie now. Freddie's going to be in school in September and he's going to be tied down to something until he's 65. From
Yeah.
the age of 5 to 65, you're tied.
It's
to
ridiculous.
I hate it so much.
Yeah. No, thank you.
I'd love to be able to educate him without him going to school.
Well, he
Well,
doesn't have
technically
to,
you can. You can
he has-
homeschool.
Absolutely.
I can homeschool.
Yeah,
No,
you know, I
he
wouldn't
can't
if I were you.
homeschool.
So no,
Yeah,
I
no.
can homeschool myself.
No, but
even
in
bringing
college, you have a bit of freedom in college.
You still have to fucking go 3 or 4. If you want to be good at what you do, you still have to go 5 days, 6 days a week.
You
And you
don't.
have to give all your time to studying.
You don't.
be good at what you want to do.
No, but you can go to college. You don't have to commit to like every class.
But to be good at what you want to do, see, like you have to be good at, really good at everything.
I always say that to people. I was like, the pilot is just a dude. You don't know if he went to every class. The doctor is just a dude. You don't know if he went to every
Yeah.
class.
He's brilliant.
You don't have to go to every class.
I had this conversation with someone though, and I said, you know, the doctor you go to could be the person that got the worst results out of his whole class.
just a dude.
Yeah, do you know exactly? Yeah,
Do you
Do you know, I never really fully investigated that thought. That's brilliant.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm thinking
Nothing
now,
strikes me.
why?
Yeah, you're just a dude.
It
Do you
might
know?
actually, if you investigate that earlier, you'd kind of cut that deference to authority. Should have fucking
Yeah.
done it years ago.
Yeah, we should have. Yeah.
A lot more. You should teach a class on timeless and ageless nameless.
Yes.
Maybe.
Just to touch on the nameless thing, actually,
Yeah.
you stop calling yourself your previous name.
Yeah.
You are now. You change your name. I love the one with your name change because you change your name to Starlight.
I love it.
It's like it's so
It's
out there.
nice and bright and
Straight away, like,
I like
she's
it.
good crack a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, whereas the guy that was doing the name change was like, oh, no one's going to be taking you seriously. I was like, I fucking
Thank
hope
God.
not.
I fucking hope not. Yeah.
Exactly
Yeah.
the people
What's
I
your
don't
name?
want
The
to be
bollocks.
Oh, he was unreal. He was unreal. He couldn't see nothing. And he, like, Alex, she came with me because I had to have a witness there. And he was like, oh, I'm looking for the number. Is that the number? She goes, that's my name.
Jesus Christ.
It was unreal. And then for just his time, you know, and he's a serious guy and people take him seriously and he charges 150 euros for his, like, just this thing. And, like, what literally he could have just done in 5 minutes took an hour and a half. And it's and his
was he
whole
sitting there
dragging the
holding
whole
his
out of it.
balls?
do you
Like
know what
how
I mean?
important he was.
Do you know?
Oh,
and like,
fuck's
and the
sake.
whole thing was just about his whole life is about people taking you seriously. Do you know? Like,
Oh my
What
God.
a sad existence.
Did you find
isn't
out
it?
what his name was? Was it Norman?
probably.
I'd have to start questioning him.
Gunther.
I'd have to start talking like, what's wrong with you?
Who hurt you?
Why are you the way you are? You miserable.
Well, no,
All
what-
we should do while we're here is change your name. You can't.
Yeah, but the reality is, you have to take me seriously because I got fucking skills and you have no skills. Like, you have no skills. Like, if I want, like, you've no idea how to
kill you.
defend a choke, how to
Yeah.
throw a punch.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you haven't got a choice whether you take me seriously or not. You have to take me seriously. I got skills. And like, and that is powerful. Like, it doesn't matter what I'm fucking called or what my like degree or whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. Like,
I can break your nose.
I can break your nose. And I can
That's what it comes
stand
down to,
here,
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and I'm confident in myself. You know, I've got skills. Like,
Exactly
it's cool.
that.
It's like
When did you change your name?
Honestly, yeah, last year officially. Last
Love
year
it.
officially.
And did you go by it for a while before you officially
Yes.
changed it? Okay.
Yeah, but the question would always be, is that your real name? And then I was like, ugh, not like.
Again, because
just
everybody's.
really- It's- yeah, it
Do
is.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Your
then,
answer should be, yeah, it
It
is
should have
my real
fucking,
name,
yeah. No, but that's like, there was so much I learned in changing my name that I didn't think that I would be learning that was phenomenal. And that's a massive part of it. It's
Yeah.
like being like, yeah, it is my fucking name. It's what I want to be called. So like,
Wait, what's your name? Ted, is it?
do you know? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's your real name. Fucking Ted.
Do you know? But like the concept of like, is that your real name? And that you're given this name by your parents and you have to stick with it for the rest of your life, and that's just it. Every cell in your body changes every 7 years, but your name stays the same, and you're expected to hold on to it and everything it means.
Yeah.
And like, it really is a child. It just brings up like naughty me that got, suspended and in school. It's like
Yeah.
it's like that is all the old name, whereas this new name is like fresh. It's new. It's like, and it brings up so much resistance in people. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
Oh, they don't want to call you star because like that's like you are like what you think you're a star. And like you want me.
You're
to
not
call
allowed to own
you're
that.
Not, you know what I mean? Like, and you
Yeah.
see the resistance, and then you very clearly see who's who. You're like, all right, you hold on to all your shit.
Yeah, yeah.
My name's Starlight. You know?
Brilliant. I love it.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
technically, you're
class.
made out of a star, aren't you?
You know, so,
Exactly, yeah.
and that's the idea. Is it's nameless. It's like it's like I'm as much Starlight as you were Starlight, as everyone is Starlight. It's like it's a universal thing. It's not
Yeah.
a superstar. It's like it's just a universal, ageless, nameless, timeless, faceless.
I love
how
that they were
philosophical
What's
this
the-
conversation is.
what's the
Brilliant.
faceless
From where
thing
it came
about?
from. You know, like,
When you say faceless, what do you mean by that one?
just not to hold on to anything, like to just not be attached to anything, and like especially in our world of
Civil administration.
that and like
No, like social media
social
and-
media,
100%,
like
yeah.
it's all about how you look, and then you're just holding on to this idea of how you have to look, and there's so much pressure on how you look and versus what you do and who you are, and that deeper side of life.
Yeah, yeah,
Do you
yeah,
get me?
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so like just, and again, that came from like living in the polo. I remember I didn't look in the mirror for ages, and like looking in the mirror, I actually found stressful. Would bring, again, it was like looking at the clock. They would bring certain things because I wanted to look a certain way or be, and it wasn't enough. Or do you know what I mean? So I like
Yeah,
took
yeah,
mirrors
yeah,
out of
yeah.
my life for a while,
Yeah.
and like. Oh, I'm telling you, it's hard.
It's no, because it's
Like
funny you say
every
that because
fucking step, I'm like
Yeah.
thinking about where my foot is,
Because-
what my core is doing, how I'm breathing. Like it's
you look like a person that would typically look at themselves a lot.
Yeah, no.
And I say that because, like, physically, looking at you physically, you look fucking amazing. Like, you've full on set of abs, you've massive shoulders, your traps, you've veins everywhere. And you look like a person that, fucking look at me.
yeah.
But you don't even have a mirror.
No. Like mirrors stress me out, and I end up like I got scar. I fucking created a third eye for myself. Like I scarred myself in college from like just like you have a tiny little spot and it's nothing, and then it's just fucking.
And then suddenly your elbow deep.
Oh
Yeah,
my!
yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah,
can't
yeah,
stop.
yeah.
I cannot
Yeah.
stop, and it's like I remember being like talking to a therapist at one stage because try everything. And she was like, why don't you, do some like self-care? And it was this idea of like, yeah, shit, I'm literally like, I'm wrecking myself. Like, what is that? Like, what is that inside of myself that is wrecking myself? And it's something that I love about the gym is like you go in and you are wrecking yourself. And so it gets that energy out. But now it's having to like create these caring practices. So this breath work and this recovery stuff. And I told you about the affirmation. So I now record myself. So it's
I love this.
I record like affirmations and things that would, I have one for competitions, I have one for a heavy snatch session, I have one for heavy squat, I have like a load of different ones. And I was recording and then I put binaural beats over it and like make it into a little thing. And I actually, I chop it up so that it doesn't even kind of sound like me, because I take out all the spaces between the words so it sounds a little bit less like me. And then Colin comes in pissing himself laughing and he's like, what are you doing? And I explain the situation. He goes, okay, wait a minute. So this is your past self talking to your present self, hoping that your future self is going to do better.
That's brilliant.
That is
excellent.
So it's working with all three of us,
I love it.
getting those in line,
Trying to.
Yeah, it's like I'll do anything, apart from certain things. But
Oh, see, Starlight, the three celestial bodies coming together.
It's Ziggy, is it?
But it's so interesting how that
Ziggy.
like gets to you, because I was saying to you like. Then I'm going to go and do a lift, and it's literally the last things that I've been listening to that enter my head. Versus there are shitty voices in there that are like, I don't know if you can do this. This
You're
is
a
very
pussy.
heavy. You're a bit of a
No, I'm
pussy.
not.
Yeah, it's all of that.
Yeah.
It's
like fucking-
mental.
Yeah, and you're trying to block it out and say the opposite. Then.
Yeah. But if you've actually listened to yourself telling yourself that you're great and you've got this and you've done loads of work and it's just going to be light and you're prepared for this moment, all of that shit comes in, and you're like,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that
cool.
takes training.
It does.
Apparently,
And time talking
And
to
time.
yourself.
isn't it
and
the
recording
shift
yourself
from the
and all
first
that,
person
yeah.
to the third person? As in, when you're trying to be positive and you're saying like, okay, I've got this, but you have to shift it to you've got this.
Yeah.
So it's
And then it's you've already done it.
yeah.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is what you were
I
saying.
just skipped
That's
the last
good.
part.
That's good.
That I've already done. Like that's what I was
Yeah.
explaining to you earlier.
Yeah.
Would I come up to a lift?
I can't get there. Not yet. I'm trying.
But like if I'm lifting something that I haven't lifted before, I'll convince myself that I've lifted already, because the second time you do something is always easier.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
clever.
So it's like if I want to, like I was saying to you, if I want to deadlift 450 kilos, I come into this headspace of like I've done before. And it's like, oh, I've fucking done this before. So
But
it's
you
half
have
the
done
battle.
that before.
Yeah, it works. Yeah.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And then
Have I
another
done
guy.
it before?
Okay, I got it.
You did do it before. Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I've done it before.
It's okay to tell lies to yourself.
Yeah.
They're not
But
lies.
it's not even
Yeah,
lying,
I know,
because
I
if
know,
it's
I'm
not,
kidding.
and if you
Jesus.
do it, then it worked.
Yeah,
then it
I know.
was.
Yeah.
And
It's
there's
just
nothing to say
timeless.
that it
Oh,
actually
you were a
didn't.
time traveler.
But it's
See?
nothing to say
Timeless,
that it
yeah,
didn't actually happen in some other reality. You're only
Yeah.
blocking yourself every time you say that it has it. You know what I mean? You've got to be open to everything.
Yeah.
Do you know? And then there's a big one on trying that I remember. It really pissed me off when it happened, but this was like 10 years ago, college and tutor in college, sorry. And he was like, I was going through this really hard time, and I was like, look, sir, I'm trying my best. He goes, all right, stop. He goes, all right, you see that coffee cup you got there? I want you to try and pick it up. Go on, try and pick it up.
Oh, actually, me now.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry,
go on,
yeah.
try. No, now you've picked it up. Put it back down.
Yeah.
Okay, go and try and pick it up.
What do you mean? As in,
Just try your hardest to pick it up.
I feel like this is a trap.
Bang.
I need to
go
do
on,
it slowly.
try. See, nothing's happened. No, now you've picked it up. And I was like, oh, trying. It's nothing. Like, if I try and do something, I tried really hard. What is it? It's nothing.
Trying is nothing. Oh,
pick
yeah,
up
yeah.
Pick up the cup. You got to pick up the cup. You can't just like try and pick up the. If you want to pick up the cup, pick up
You
the
just
cup.
pick it up.
Don't
That's
try.
it.
The trying is the extra
that
bit.
just
And
yeah.
in Olympic weightlifting as well, like when you start trying really hard, like you do extra shit that you don't need to do. You just need to do the technique and lift the bar.
Yeah. Eliminate the trying.
Eliminate the trying, that like fucking
just do it.
and just do it. Just do it. Don't put in that little
But
extra
you're drilled
fucking.
into from you got to try and do your best.
That's it. No,
Yeah.
just do your best.
Just do your
Just
best.
do it.
Do your fucking best.
It's
do
weird
nothing
from
less,
where all
do
the
your
Nike have their
harshness.
finger on the pulse with that one. Just
Yeah.
do
do
it.
it.
In it.
Yeah.
In it.
Take
That's
that
what it
back
is,
off
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
We don't
I
like
did
these
it.
conglomerates.
Yeah.
I done it.
I already did it in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was saying it to start back in 2013. We were doing this weightlifting thing. It was in competition. It was Ireland's Strongest Man, and it was behind the neck press. So you put the bar in your neck and you press it up overhead. And the heaviest I did in training was 130 kilos, and I failed 140 in the gym. So I come up to competition, did 130 was really easy, did 140 really easy, just about to do 150. And there was an older guy, Generation Strongman, come up behind me. He was like, do it in your head first. And I was like, fuck it, I'm training now. So I was like, put my hands in the bar, close my eyes. It's like, okay, get under the bar. Boom, it goes up a bit. Oh my God, I can't believe I did 150. Then it's back into reality. It's like, okay, I just need to do it again. I've done before. On my neck, boom, it went up. I was like, fuck, that really worked. So then I put the bar back down. We went to 160, did 160, went to 170, did 170. Well, two guys did to
And then
170.
the guy's like, hang on and slow down.
So two guys did 170, me and another guy, and it was like 180 to win. So the guy went out, he failed 180. I went out again, it was 180 in the bar. And this, like, no one was pressing 180 kilos.
Yeah.
And I put my hands in the bar, I was like, put it on my neck, it's 180. He goes, boom, oh my God, I can't believe I did 180. It's so fucking easy. Back into reality, I was like, okay, back on my neck, boom, 180, went straight up. I was like, oh my God, that fucking really worked.
Why'd you go for 190?
Because 180 won it.
Oh yeah, why would you do it? Yeah.
Yeah, I was
That'd
just
be
wasting
extra
energy.
effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Extra, yeah. That was a try 190.
Yeah.
Didn't want to try it.
There's a limit to brilliance.
But
Yeah.
yeah, mindset. And I've been trying to tell people in the gym, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I can't deadlift this weight. I was with someone there 2 weeks ago, and I was like, show me you trying it. So he was like, I was like, why are you approaching the bar like you'd approach a fucking sandwich? There was just like no effort. It was like when I'm grabbing onto the bar, like when I do it, like if it's 100 kilos or 400 kilos, it's full psychotics, like, and then it's like. And then just kind of come back. I remember like Benny Magnuson,
Yeah.
he's one of the greatest deadlifters ever. He's an Icelandic guy, fucking psychopath, right? But he deadlifted the world record, right? So he's like, and he's pure fucking, goes into his place and he's breathing really hard, goes up to the bar, fucking pulls it up, throws it back down, and he's still in this zone that he
Yeah.
creates, right? So then presenter Caroline Pierce comes over and he goes, Benny, oh my God, you just pulled 1,000 pounds, 454 kilos. It was such an amazing lift. You made it look so easy. How do you feel?
I just laugh.
The microphone is here. And he's like, what did you say? And he literally, she went, and he just walks off. But yeah, just going into that
Different
zone, you
world.
can just
Yeah, different
accomplish so many
zone.
good things, yeah.
That's it. And you
But
have
to
to
have
get there.
that kind of mental,
You just need to build it inside in your head.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah, yeah.
It's quite difficult because I know for me, if I'm going doing something which is very light, really, in terms of what people can lift, I'm still like
it's all
the
relative,
risk
though.
to injury is the big fear
Yeah.
in my head because I'm always injuring myself. So that I cannot shake it.
Yeah, and it's ultimately the fear of death.
It's fear, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the fear of death. And then when
Yeah.
you start, I started reading about samurai philosophy, and in samurai philosophy, it's all about if you can every morning think of all the horrendous ways that you might die that day, you'll end up going into the day fearless. I was like, oh. And then I remember like driving along and my car was like having mechanical issues and I was scared that I was going to get stuck on Moll's Gap, and I was like, all right, wait a second. So I could drive off and I'd fucking die on this. And then this could happen and that could happen. And then you're like, well, the car's actually not so much of an issue if I stop on Moll's Gap. And you know, the car is like, it's great. There's loads of worse things that could happen. You know what I mean?
At least 1,000 rats didn't eat me.
Yeah. So like constantly getting yourself, oh, hello.
Here.
Oh, that's all right. Constantly like thinking about that and preparing yourself for death, I think is massive. It's massive because it's
yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
happening. So I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
if you're getting yourself and like and jumping under big ass weights. I remember my first time going for the 100 kilo snatch. I was looking through the footage the other day, and it's like me talking to myself and the camera in the van, and it's like, I don't want to die, pussy. I'm fucking going for it. You know what I mean? I feel like that's where you have to fucking get to, because that's ultimately the biggest thing that's holding you back. Is you're scared that you're
fear of failure,
the fear of failure, and the fear of the fucking bar coming down and crashing on me, and like, you know, ultimately that could kill me. And then if you get over that, you just do cool shit.
Accomplish way more. Yeah.
I think my fear would be that like death would be fine. Imagine being injured in a way that you're told you can never do the gym ever again. That is a
I'd still do
fate.
it.
I still fucking do. I'd find
Really?
a fucking
If I
way
was
to
in a
do it.
wheelchair, yeah, I do
and
nose.
and I go there. I'm
Nose
like,
exercise.
I'm like, what would happen? Yeah, I'd be that mad cunt fucking
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
the pull-ups
same,
with
yeah.
the wheelchair, you know, kids hanging off it, whatever. Like, do you know? Like, yeah. Like, but I do, because ultimately that is it's terrifying, and you just gotta fucking still do it, you know.
Yeah.
And especially with the martial arts, like I've had a couple of mad injuries, and then even the last day, someone took me down, and I didn't fall quite right, and I literally thought I was about to snap my good knee, and then but you get over, and then you go into training the next day, and you build through it, and then suddenly you get more and more fearless. It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
We're going to have to wrap this up. I feel like we could talk to you until 10 o'clock
All
tonight.
day long.
How long are you in Ireland?
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Coming back.
Okay, definitely. This is a part one.
Yeah, this is part one.
For sure.
Ageless,
That was fun.
timeless,
That was fun.
faceless,
That was fun.
and what was the fourth one? Ageless, timeless,
I don't know, you
faceless.
can make it up. Ageless, timeless, nameless, faceless. Nameless. There we go.
Nameless.
Yeah,
There
that's
we
a big
go.
one.
Anyway, Star, it's
All right,
been
much
good.
love.
It's
Yeah,
been
much
great.
love.
Thank you
Much
very
love.
much.
Much
Thanks
love.
for coming in.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it was
been
fun.
excellent.
Yeah.
We're going to have you back again. Probably a UFC champion. Who
Oh,
knows?
that'd be fucking class, wouldn't it?
It would be class,
So
yeah.
fucking,
Class.
well, it's going to it already
It
happened
is
in the
happened.
future.
It's already
Oh,
happened.
see?
It's already happened, yeah.
Yeah, we're just making it
Yeah,
happen here.
what
in
time's
this-
it? Anyway, see you later, guys. Thank you very much.
All right, much love. Cool.
I could stay here all day.
I know.
Yeah, same, yeah. You're wrapped up in the
Sorry.
lights. I'm trying to figure out how this happened. I don't even know. It's inside me.
Oh no, I'm sorry.